we continue our exploration of Carrow Manor. After being beset by a den full of ghosts, all seated around a small couch arrangement, you, having rung the service bell, were greeted by the ghoul manservant Bashir. Bashir proceeded to show you to the library,
Yes.
where you found a telescope pointed out a floor-to-ceiling window facing out into the astral sea, and books lined the walls. However, you approached, and from the drawing desk next to the telescope, Zyden, you came across a journal written by the mage Dakon Carrow, with a most peculiar symbol emblazoned on the front.
That I did.
You proceeded to dig down through as Fira, overtaken by many of the distresses in recent hours, nodded off. You nodded off and were tucked in to a large, comfy chair there in the study. Meanwhile, Mycah, you descended back down into the tunnel, where you had heard that rats had made off with a keg fashioned from Starlight wood. You made it down and past the underside of the well and around a corner, where you proceeded to find a larger cavern matted along the floor by patches of sloughed off black fur. You picked up a small sample of it and gave it a dab on your tongue and evoked particular tastes. You saw another tunnel at the far side of that cave, but decided perhaps not, and you retreated and repelled yourself back up out of the well. You return to the study, and Fira, you are awoken by the sweet floral smell of jasmine.
Okay.
And Zyden, you also, as you briefly glance up from the book you are engrossed in, also notice the smell. You turn back to see that Bashir has returned with a ornately set tea set and several teacups.
Aw,
Ah,
how kind.
thank you, Bashir.
He gives a small nod. I thought perhaps you might be thirsty.
That would certainly be true after the excitement we've had today. I'll take a glass, nod politely, and sniff it before I taste.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
All right. Um, 13.
It smells like jasmine tea.
All right.
I too will reach for a glass and sniff it.
Sure, you go for an investigation check.
Sure. That is definitely jasmine tea.
Sure is.
I rolled a My check was a 6, so that was definitely some tea there.
You're not well versed in teas. I mean, it certainly smells floral in some way. Your best guess would be to say, "Yeah, jasmine seems right." Sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm still on my way back, right?
You sort of return just in time for tea to be served.
All right, tea, good. A little bland, but sure.
Well, what do you expect from a matter
such
such as this?
if you would like, Master Mycah.
Not exactly the additive that I'm looking for here, bud.
What perhaps are you seeking? I am afraid that the honey wore away some time ago.
Pretty sure that's not what he's looking for either, sir.
Bashir, have you ever heard of a hot toddy?
I see. Well, I'm afraid when I had to dump the rest of the liquor so that the rats would stop intruding, it meant all of it.
That sucks. This place sucks. I couldn't find the barrels. I found another tunnel. I think they're probably down that tunnel. There's also something hideous and rotting was down there, like real gross rot. So, that's exciting and fun. Yeah. So we should go down that tunnel and see if we can find those barrels. But we, as a collective, should do that, and not me as a single furbolg.
Valid.
Can't really blame you for that.
Yeah, I'd side with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that we've got enough time here to take a short rest. Or did we already take a short rest?
I mean, you sort of went down and explored. You can take another hour to rest again if you would like. You did not get to rest because you were exploring. The other two,
I'm
sort of.
I'd like to take a short rest.
Okay.
Okay.
Just sort of hanging out.
We're enjoying tea time with.
Yep. Tea time, and I'll explore some more of the books in the library, rather than just the journal.
Okay. Give me another investigation check.
Oh shit! Nat 20.
You read the shit out of that journal.
Hell yeah!
Okay. Well, you were searching other books, was my understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
I think last time you said I'd gotten pretty much everything useful out of that journal.
Well, what I said was that you got the impression that you might be able to get a number of other things. You only got through about the first chapter, but...
Oh, that was it? Oh, okay. Then if that, I just didn't remember. So if that was the case, I probably would have just continued reading the journal while Mycah took a rest.
What you learned last time is you got about as far as the order, and you realize that there's still the rest of the book, but he started to turn into an absolute loon after that bit with the order 30 years ago, and it's a dense and heavy journal, but you have to, if you want to, you will have to take time, like protracted amounts of time, and decipher the scrawlings of a madman.
Oh. So more than just this hour?
Correct. Like, you could potentially decipher a handful of pages in the course of a long rest, potentially, depending on how you roll. And markedly, the DCs get progressively harder the deeper into the book you go.
Interesting. And kind of makes me wonder if how useful the ramblings of a madman might be. But it does correlate directly with this whole spreading darkness thing. So,
you know that he was doing work for someone or someones that he referred to as the Sisters, and he was being pursued by the Order of Alistair.
right. And Alistar told me, and I quoted this in my notes, long ago my followers kept the key of light safe until the sisters came and stole it. That's when the darkness started.
You sure did. Copy that down verbatim.
Right. So he was doing work for the sisters.
Correct.
Okay. How much would I get out of it in this hour?
You start to flip through chapter 2, and by that point he starts to really kind of lose it. You definitely get some experimental field notes, but to understand what he is experimenting on, you would have to sort of cross-check, and the whole next chapter. You know what? Give me I'm gonna have these guys unmute, and I won't go into some of the more relevant details because you won't get them in the next little while. But in the next little bit, give me an Arcana check.
$17.
Welcome.
Okay. With that check, you do find a reference key, and you jump to an index at the back of the book. And this page is pretty well preserved, but as you sort of quickly thumb through the rest of the index, some of it's not even written line to line anymore. It starts writing itself around in a spiral through the pages.
Interesting.
But the page that the reference directs you to, when you sort of thumb through it, you see that there's actually what you determine to be a planar shifting spell. But it appears to be larger scale.
Oh.
You've heard of like plane shift that can carry a small number of people between certain planes. This appears to be sort of a Mac Daddy version of said spell.
I think it'd be safe to assume this is what he used to transport his entire manor.
You would have to take a long time to work out the finer points to how the spell functions, but it would probably be not an illegitimate guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is to say, a guess whose parents weren't married when it was made.
Welcome back.
It's a real problem amongst rich landowning guesses. Really fucks up with inheritance.
So anyway, you sort of thumb through a little bit more of that chapter, and you realize that the cohesion is breaking down. even then, so you sort of shut the page there and go take a perusal of the shelves. You got a nat 20. What were you looking for?
Anything useful?
Okay.
That's not specific.
I mean, I actually. Yeah. My first thought is that I wouldn't be looking for something very specific since it's just a giant library and there are so many options.
Sure.
But we are also here to get that Starlight wood. So perhaps while my aim may be a bit unfocused, as I kind of want to know what's in the library, I would also probably look for something of an inventory. Not just of like what's in the library, but also what's in the house, if such a thing would exist.
Okay. You trace along the books, and you see a vast number of different tomes. There is everything from a section of cookbooks. There are various histories of great nations from scattered anywhere from across the Sword Coast to well inland to the central great nations. Uh, you scan past the histories. About center under the so the balcony, you remember the hallway from upstairs runs directly into this room and forms a upper ledge on the back wall.
Right.
Beneath that balcony, you do find a slightly more substantial bookcase. You find some finer print books. A number of them are royal biographies. You find a number of other tomes. You do find about center of the shelves is a series of books that include things like you pull one book out and you actually open it, and it appears to be an entire ledger that it, as you sort of thumb through it, it appears to be an index of goods coming and going from the manor house, and it's in a very different handwriting than what was written in the journal.
Ah.
At which point you actually hear very politely from a few steps just sort of over your shoulder.
Ah. Safe to assume you took these notes, Bashir?
Yes, I see to the care of the house. May I help you find something, Master Zyden?
Honestly, this is along the same lines of our earlier inquiry as to the Starlight wood.
Yes, as I told you before, I believe the only source we have was the cask that I upended down the well.
Right, right. My apologies. It was in my browsing of the library itself that I came across this and wanted to see perhaps something was missed. But
Well,
you seem to be quite diligent in your job, and that's always appreciated.
I have always kept the master's affairs in order, even well past, I suppose, when it may have been of particular use. He actually reaches over and just sort of upends to the back, like 10% of the ledger. and you see the import-export is actually just zeroed out the whole way down.
Oh, interesting.
He actually flips it back a few pages from there, and you see that in the alcohol and spirits row, he has notations on one particular date, give or take a year ago, in which he upended all of the stuff down the well.
I see. Well, Bashir, it seems your memory is impeccable.
It has always been a talent, sir.
Good man. All right.
As you go to put the ledger back, you do note a small metallic door at the back of the shelf.
Interesting. Do I notice anything about the door, or is it like what? If it's at the back of the shelf, is it the shelf itself? Is it a tiny little thing? Is it?
It's small, but it probably runs the height of the shelf that it is inlaid behind. It is a safe door.
Oh. Okay, I am not going to say anything about that yet. So,
So unless we got something else going, I figure we should end
Well,
this short rest period.
Well, in the midst of your short rest, Fira,
Yes.
in your pocket, you feel.
Okay. Just digs it out.
It is the crystal inlay compass.
Yes.
Do you open
Okay.
it?
I do.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Fira, good. Azure here. We hadn't heard from you. Are you all okay?
I believe we're fine now.
Now? Was there a problem before?
Just ghosts, dead things, and we're fine.
Oi! Did she say ghosts? Shut up. But you are all okay. No one's
Yeah.
suffered significant injury?
No. I have danced on death's doorstep, and I still live to tell the tale.
That is good. Would be unfortunate to lose our away team so quickly.
Yeah, fair.
Have you managed to find some Starlight wood?
In a matter of speaking, we know where it is. We just don't have it yet.
Then I suggest you be about it then.
It's easier said than done, but we're getting there.
Well, our time is limited. We're taking on energy from the sea, and the ship doesn't have ample amounts of time. There's only so much bailing we can do.
Do you have a rough estimation for us, by any chance?
Sorry?
Do you have a not so much a time limit, but
Well, I would say we probably can only maintain this for a few more hours.
fantastic. So we should get going, guys.
Yes, just a little bit.
Should throw something at Mycah. Probably a bit.
Can a guy sleep and listen to his head mushrooms in peace for one god's damned hour? Good lord.
Do you want a ship to crash into this building, Mycah?
Define want.
Do you want to stop a ship from crashing into this building, Mycah? Especially when it's our gate out of here.
Let's go to the spook basement.
You do by that time it has been another hour, so everybody may spend as many hit dice as you would like. Yeah, up to your max, which is 3 at the moment.
Sweet.
I'm actually sitting pretty health-wise.
Then
I'm pretty
Yeah.
healed.
I imagine you took a short rest to restock your spells.
Yes, I took a short rest to prepare some new spells.
Yes, then that is
And get
also,
back my wild shapes.
Yes, your mushrooms do in fact feel
Oh wait,
rejuvenated.
shit. Yeah, I get back my wild shape on a short
Okay.
rest, but I don't think I get back my spells.
That might be right. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You say that explains the whole listening to your head mushrooms thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, short rest. Excellent. Cool. So I've got my wild shape, and I still have, based on my notes from last week, 1 second level spell left. And that's it. That's all I got.
Well, that can still be a terribly effective spell.
Hopefully.
Mhm.
Okay. Follow me down to the basement filled with weird rotting corpses.
Away we go then.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Do travel safe.
Thank you, sir.
Master Mycah, did you say beneath the well?
Yeah.
Perhaps give me just a moment.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
He takes off upstairs and bangs a left down the other side of the upper landing. 5-10 minutes go by, and he actually returns with a full with a big grappling hook and a knotted rope.
Ooh.
Oh.
I already do that.
Yes, but we don't.
I'll take that. Unless you would like it, Fear.
I couldn't follow in suit, so
Thank you, Bashir. That will be quite useful, I'm sure.
I'm gonna lead them down to the spooky basement hole.
that sounds like a good plan.
Which, if I remember correctly, we don't actually have to grapple down to.
No, we get there down through the wine cellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a better plan.
Bashir kind of makes a sort of a sad face, but just kind of shrugs and returns to the side.
Oh, that I wasn't saying that in character. That was kind of just a recap. Like, he gave us this, but we don't really have to. But okay.
No, but as soon as you all head for the cellar, he just kind of makes a face and then turns back for the study.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
So I'm going to lead the way down through the kitchen, to the wine cellar, through the tunnel, and out into the cavern beneath the well.
Yes. So you pass the open wood covering, and Zyden and Vera, this is your first time properly exiting into this round, rough-hewn cavern, and you see that small cylindrical stone ring at the top with
Yes.
faint bits of light coming out, which, from a player perspective, you know what that is, and you gather from what Mycah has said, you suspect that that must be the well top.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to my horrible cavern. Over here, you'll find my horrible corpses.
Beautiful.
I'm going to indicate the horrific rotting body.
Oh, so
Sounds-
you show them to the cavern with the matted furs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tunnel out of the well cavern goes down 50 or so feet and then turns another right and descends at a slight grade into this widening cavern where the matted firs now lie. And the mouth of another tunnel lies beyond.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking wherever these barrels went, it's probably down that tunnel.
Okay.
So,
I'm not going first.
how dark is that tunnel?
It's pretty dark.
Right. Okay. Why
Doesn't
don't?
your staff do the lighty thing?
Shall I light your staff again?
Sure. I mean, I'm vaguely bioluminescent, but an actual light is, generally speaking, better.
Well, here goes then. And I touch the stone on the top of your staff, and it lights up. By casting light.
Sounds good. I'm gonna lead the way then, and I head off.
All right, follow.
So you proceed for a bit longer,
Okay.
and you feel that the path in front of you continues in that downward fashion. You eventually start to notice in the distance that there is sort of a flickering, unstable, guttering purple light.
All right.
Huh.
And the path becomes a little less just hewn from the rock, and several larger stones and even slightly clumpish boulders start to appear in the path.
Ah.
Is the path blocked?
Not blocked, but there are some sizable stones.
All right. Okay. Could I make a nature check to see if I recognize these as just like regular rocks or as like weird space rocks?
Sure. Give me a nature check.
That is a +3 on my 2. That's me a fancy 5.
They sure are rocks.
They sure are.
Well, I see nothing amiss here, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep walking.
Okay.
All right.
Can I please ask that Fira and Zyden please deafen yourselves.
All right.
See, that's how you know you made the good idea. Look, man, I looked at the rocks. They looked like normal rocks, so why would I not keep going?
So as you grow closer and you see the flickering purple light, you proceed to start and hear a whispering guttural sound, and it is a whispering guttural sound that sounds awfully familiar.
Gross.
And you hear it proceed to say, "More. I need more. Feed me."
Don't love that.
At which point you hear a sharp.
And we're back.
As you are drawing down the tunnel, you proceed to hear a deep, guttural, grinding, tearing sound that
Excellent.
you almost suspect is some manner of. At first, you think it's just some sort of bellowing, but you notice that there is a cadence, and some of the guttural tones are rounded off, and you realize this is probably some manner of speech,
Okay.
but you cannot understand what it says.
That's exciting.
As it finishes its phrase, you then hear it followed by.
Hello there.
Huh.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Did we see anything or just hear this?
You heard it as you were approaching down and growing near the growing purple light in the distance. At which point you hear a number of small scrabbling noises as Fira yells that out.
Hey, Zyden,
Yeah.
you're a warlock, right?
In a sense, I believe so.
Right. Cool.
So you proceed to hear the sort of guttural, scraping, tearing speech again, and it's a very quick sound, and all of the scrabbling proceeds to pause as it speaks.
Yeah. You see that big purple?
Yes.
Why do you go ahead and explode it?
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, something that you need to explode.
Just do it.
So as you round the last couple of rocks, you can start to see into the cavern at the far end of this tunnel.
Uh-huh.
And the scrabbling that you heard as your eyes adjust in the faint purple glow of the space beyond, you see swarms along the ground of rat-like figures.
Fantastic. And they're
Except,
spooky.
as they glisten in the purple light, you realize that you can see the muscle and sinew of where they have discarded their flesh.
Gross.
And they are all turned and looking in your direction.
God damn it, guys.
As beyond them, in a slight dip in the cavern, you see floating a few feet off of the ground a purple glowing tear in space.
Oh.
Where reaching from this black sucking tear with this purple rim you see slithering one long, spiny tentacle.
The circle on the bottom is where we are.
Oh, yeah. That would be the last large rock before the room.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume that we roll for initiative
You
at this
sure
point.
do.
Sure do.
Okay.
Son of a
Okay.
bitch, I'm going last.
Initiative modifier. I don't know. I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 2 plus my mod, so I'm going last.
So,
That'd be a 6.
16.
I almost died before combat, guys.
Zyden, sorry, 16. Mycah, you had 9.
I sure did.
And Vera, you are
6. I set the bar very low.
I'm now going to roll for my guys. All right. So, with the voices called and a last bellowing gurgle, the middle cluster of rats is going to sprint forward. And they are going to attempt to take a chunk into Mycah, since you were at the front. I'm going to go ahead and say that a 10 is not going to hit, though.
No, a 10 will not hit my my DC.
You are now being swarmed, however, by a mass of fleshless, slithering rats as they...
Sure.
And then, Zyden.
Right.
Speaking of which, when the real quick, when the rats move into my space, is it one like rat swarm, or are we fighting several individual rats?
You are fighting multiple rat swarms.
Okay, cool.
For the
So
sake
in this,
of, for the sake of clarity, I circled.
right, I just wanted to make sure that each one of those circles represented, for our intents and purposes, one entity.
Correct. The
Cool.
red circles are a cluster of
When
rats.
one of those rat swarms moves into my space, it is going to be affected by my halo of spores.
Your halo of spores, which you haven't activated yet.
Halo of spores happens all the time, bud.
What?
I use it as my reaction.
Oh.
The
Joke's on
boosted,
you!
the double damaged halo of spores. I need to be in my wild shape. But
Okay.
at second level, you are surrounded by invisible necrotic spores that are harmless until you unleash them on a creature nearby. When a creature you see moves into a space within 10 feet of me or starts its turn there, I can use my reaction to deal blah 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 blah.
Disgusting. Fantastic.
Yeah. So the spores follow me all the time. It's just when I'm angry, they decay shit with necrotic energy.
Fantastic. Go for it.
Well, make a Constitution saving throw against my spell save DC,
okay.
which is, I believe, 15. Yes.
Yeah, no, that 12's not going to do it.
No. So they're going to take. Oh, where did my die just go? Oh, it rolled and I didn't even notice. They're going to take 3 necrotic damage.
Okay. Roll an insight check for me.
Sure. I'm proficient in insight because I'm wicked wise. 21.
You get the impression that the rats are not overly bothered by the spores.
Yeah, I figured they looked pretty undead, but it was worth a shot.
That being said, biting at you, they do not succeed, so Zyden.
I'm just gonna see this happen. Look at Mike and go, good call, and Eldritch Blast that tentacle.
Okay. Roll an attack.
That is a 18 to hit.
18 just hits.
Oof.
Ow.
Right. 10, there we go. Oh, max damage. Okay, 10.
Okay. You watch as I assume you have the sword out.
Yes.
From the end of the sword, a burst of light fires forward, and it slams into the tentacle, which proceeds to writhe about, and you hear.
Interesting.
Anyone understand that thing?
Nah, dude. I don't speak hideous undead rat swarm.
Oh, can I try comprehend languages?
On your turn, you can.
Okay.
Also, that sound came from the tentacle.
Okay. No one said it's not alive.
Yeah.
I don't speak hideous purple space tentacle. An easily adaptable phrase.
Okay. So the far right cluster is now also going to swarm over into the space. And they are actually going to charge past you, Mycah.
Then I want my attack of opportunity.
Well, my only question to that is, Zyden.
Oh wait, no, that eats. I already used my reaction, so I
Also
can't do
that.
another one.
Also that, so it doesn't actually matter. Mycah, they proceed, or not Mycah, Zyden, they proceed to swarm at you. And that's gonna be a 21 to hit.
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, that probably hits.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
that does.
as the foul stench of rotting rat just scampers over you. You feel teeth sinking into your legs and all the way up to your thighs, and you proceed to take 5 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
I also
things.
I also need you to roll a strength check.
Strength check.
Mm-hmm.
Is not a saving throw, but a check.
Saving throw. Excuse me.
Saving throw. Actually, it's no different. 16.
Yeah, that's not enough. As the rats proceed to sink their teeth into you, you feel them at the different little biting points, digging their claws into the dirt, and they proceed to drag you forward 10 feet towards the tentacle.
Wait, so they drag me forward. Do I fall down? Or they just drag me forward while I'm still standing?
You are still standing, but they are dragging you forward. You are
okay.
You are stumbling and on the verge of falling over, but you can right yourself as they are pulling you forward.
All right.
You are, however, considered grappled now.
Ooh. Do a thing.
That was their turn. The other ones are now also going to run forward and swarm around you.
Around who?
Zyden.
Okay.
That is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Fantastic.
Wait. It was the rats hitting me this time?
It was the rats the first time too.
Well, yes, but it could have been the tentacle this time.
No, it's not. It was not the tentacle.
Okay.
This is the second swarm of rats. This time from the left. And they hit you for 6 points of damage.
Oof.
And you need to make another strength saving throw.
Oh, no. That's a 3 total.
Oh no! Nice knowing you, Zyden.
Zyden, they proceed to drag you. They rolled pretty terribly themselves, so they only drag you another 5 feet.
Okay.
You probably have another 15 or so feet to that divot in the ground.
Where the tentacle's coming out of. Okay.
Well, it's drifting out of a rift over that divot, but
yeah, I got the visual, I think.
Yeah. Mycah, it is in fact your turn.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna do some super cool things. You see mushrooms burst out all over my body, glowing an aggressive blue.
Yes.
As I assume my wild shape. And also, my big rock on a stick starts glowing.
Oh, that's fun.
It doesn't have to. I've just decided that's what happens when I'm angry in ukulele.
I mean, it's already glowing.
It's
Yeah, but
glowing
now it's
more
like
aggressively.
glowing with like weird mushrooms.
Yeah, now it's growing with a very angry bioluminescent blue.
All right.
But unfortunately, that is the entirety of my turn.
Huh.
Oh.
All right.
So you're really scary, but then you're just there.
Yeah, I'd like to have an extra 15 temporary hit points.
Understood.
And also hit harder. So I'm gonna do those things.
Completely valid. Fira.
Okay, I'm gonna try and comprehend the language of that. Well, all languages, but I'm gonna try and comprehend the language of that tentacle technically.
Fantastic.
Specifically.
So super quick, just a brief suggestion before you do.
Okay.
If you don't mind my completely unasked for, unsolicited advice.
It's the best kind of advice right now.
Comprehend languages. Casting that. Is that an action?
Yes.
Maybe not the best use of an action when when Zyden is currently being dragged to his death.
Fair.
Ultimately, this choice is yours, but just thought we might consider the action economy.
All right, so
in all fairness, I would say that you would not have time to advise her of that.
Yeah, but that's a player-to-player advising.
Fair enough.
Fair. All right, so I mean,
by all means, do it anyway. I just thought I'd mention.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm also gonna use my bonus action to use my last bout of bardic inspiration on Zyden.
Solid choices.
Oh.
I am way too fucking tired to figure out what that sounds like, but it's there.
Fair enough.
Of note, Zyden, I'm going to just copy a segment from the new Unearthed Arcana stuff that is very relevant right now.
Yes, good call. That is very, very good call.
Right. Yeah. So it's just a die I can add to.
Right. You take the D4 and add it to whatever, but now you can also add it to your spell damage.
Yes. Okay.
Couldn't do that before.
Okay.
Got it.
No, before it was only ability
Justin
roll.
has a relevance.
Oh no, I just Alex, the thing I told you was totally correct because I'm pretty sure I checked this the first time too. So.
Sounds good.
Also, does comprehend languages just tell you what is being said, or does it also tell you the nature of the language you are understanding?
I understand the literal meaning of any spoken language. I can also understand written language if I'm touching the surface where the words are written. It takes 1 minute to read 1 page of text. The duration of the spell is an hour. The spell does not decode secret messages, such as an arcane sigil, or unless it's a part. Wait, that isn't a part of a written language. So it's basically telling me what they're saying, but not what they're saying it in.
Not what they're saying it in. Okay, cool. You do hear, in place of that writhing, tearing, hissing slither of a sound,
Yeah.
the sucking absence and grind. You instead hear the food, the food. Feed me the light bearer. Feed it to me.
Fantastic. I'm going to share that knowledge in a less creepy tone. And look at Mycah and go, I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to guess that Zyden might be the light bearer they're talking about. Just to guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely not the guy who glows in the dark.
No, I mean the
you're
one
right.
that's getting dragged to his literal death.
Also fair.
Shit.
Oh, also, retroactively, Zyden, give me an insight check.
15.
Yeah. Your big old blast from before, seared an entire bit of the tentacle, and it still has the active scorch mark on it where you hit it. It really fucking hated what you did.
That's radiant damage for you.
It is, however, the Rift's turn, at which point it is going to slither out at extension.
Fantastic.
And, at the edge of the ones dragging you forward, it proceeds to scoop up a couple of the fleshless rats and swallows it back. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
All right.
It proceeds to grab one rat from the back of the cluster that is dragging you and sucks it back into the rift.
Okay.
Quick clarification question.
Yeah.
When you say fleshless, do you mean like skinned? So there's still muscle there?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not fleshless. Because muscle is flesh.
All right, science, calm down.
Sorry, I just thought maybe they're skeleton rats.
Okay.
He said sinewy.
Muscle is a protein fiber and is very different from your dermis, so they're not really flesh, but okay.
Here's the thing. If it's crunchy, it's bone. If it's squishy, it's flesh. It's that simple. You're overcomplicating things.
The muscle but skinless rats. It proceeds to grab one up and swallows it with a last pathetic squeak. And then the tentacle slithers back out of the rift. The cluster around Mycah starts its turn around Mycah, so Mycah, I imagine there is a thing you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll deal a pittance amount of necrotic damage.
Well, in your exasperated form, isn't it double now?
Yes, that is right. It is 2d4 necrotic damage. Doubled from 1d4.
Hey,
Hey, guess
2
what?
is better than 1. What did you
So you
do?
know how last time I rolled a 3 on one die?
Uh-huh.
Well, I rolled a 3,
On 2 die.
but it took 2 dice this time.
Aha.
Oh!
So, going well then. Now, does them starting there, that just happened, right? That's not your reaction?
No, it is my reaction.
Oh. Okay.
Surprise.
They are going to proceed to scamper away from you.
Hmm.
And they are also now going to swarm Zyden.
Great.
More friends.
It's okay. I'm gonna do a good thing. I'm gonna be very distracting in about my turn.
Awesome.
I assume a 7, however, is not going to hit.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Something going for you.
Zyden, it is in fact your turn.
Okay. So I'm currently grappled by 2 of the 3 rat swarms.
Correct.
Can I see? I don't know how far up me these are going.
That's what she said.
Like, am I buried?
They
Sorry.
are. Some of them are sunk in as high up as parts of your thigh. So yeah.
Okay, only up to my thighs. Okay, so I can still see everything.
Yeah,
That's
they're not
definitely what she-
absolutely coating you, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of all my moves here because I only have 2 spell slots. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Frostbite on one of these swarms that's around me.
go for it.
Pretty much,
Encouraging.
Zyden is gonna just hold his arms out over the rats and say, "Feel the cold of space." And oh bullshit. I mean, oh wait,
Yeah, it went that well.
I rolled an 8, but I'm realizing I don't think I have to roll to hit.
What's the spell?
No, it's a save. They have to make a save, a con save.
Con save. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I did the wrong
Thank
thing.
God
And
you
I'm
rolled an
glad
8.
that's when a bad roll came up.
That is a 10. That's not gonna do it.
Nope.
Roll damage.
All right. 5 damage. 5 cold damage.
All right.
And it says and has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
It's next what?
A disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll, but I don't think it's using a weapon, so that probably doesn't mean anything.
I mean, if those teeth are sharp, they might be a weapon.
That's fair.
I think technically when it says weapon attack roll, it also just qualifies as melee attacks.
If
So
it
yeah,
says
they have-
weapon attack, I would rule that as anything that isn't a spell that is an attack.
Correct.
Okay.
Valid.
So yeah, they have disadvantage on their next attack.
I get it. Okay. Anything else?
That was an action, so I think that's all I can. Wait, what can I do on my bonus? Hold up. Oh right, we took a short rest. I'm gonna curse that tentacle. Hexblade's curse.
Okay. I don't know what that does, but sure.
Curse for a minute or until it dies. Against the cursed target, you have a +2 bonus to damage. Score a critical hit on a 19 or 20, and regain HP if it dies.
Okay then.
Yeah.
That's a move.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So pretty much just tendrils of light come out of my my non-sword hand, and wrap themselves around the tentacle.
Kira, the tentacle proceeds to go, No!
Whatever you're doing, keep it up. It doesn't like it.
I'm doing what I can over here.
All right.
Well, you're doing it well.
So, Zyden, I need you to make 2 strength checks. Oh, crap.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. I need 2 strength checks from you.
Okay, that's a 12
Okay.
and an 18.
Okay, well, the natural 20 and the 19 I rolled are going to go ahead and beat those.
Oh.
Ow.
Is escape artist still a thing in 5e?
You can, for things like rope, when you are grappled, you can make a contested grapple check to escape.
Ow.
Right, and then that's what these strength rolls were, right?
Well, the strength rolls on their turn are simply to resist being moved.
Oh.
They proceed to drag you another 20 feet, and you proceed to stumble over into the divot.
Ah. Okay. So am I falling into this hole now?
It only drops down a couple of feet, and
Okay.
and it grades down. It's as if something was smashed into the ground.
So you tripped a little.
In fact, you can give me a perception check if you'd like.
Right. Ah. That is, where's my perception? 20.
Hey, you did something right.
Yeah. As you hit the divot, you come to realize that in a spread around the rift in the air that you are now drawing terribly close to, you see the ground is packed in here as if a rounded, muscular force has lashed into the ground over and over again, essentially packing in the dirt into a small indent in the ground.
The tentacle was digging.
It's digging?
Perhaps less digging so much as when it lashes out, it just sort of packs down the ground around it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's digging.
Yeah. All right.
That was the 2 rat clusters' turn. Mycah.
Hi.
Distraction time.
Cool. Hey. Tentacle bastard. Fuck off. Then there's a sort of point at it. And it gets to make a dexterity saving throw as a sphere of fire just sort of materializes on it.
On it?
You just cast fireball.
I did not just cast fireball.
No, he cast
I do not know fireball.
He cast
I cast flaming sphere.
Yeah, he did.
Oh. Oh.
You see, the difference is one's a ball and one's a sphere.
Yeah, exactly. You said a dexterity.
Valid.
You said dexterity saving throw?
Yes, against my spell save DC of 15.
Well, I only naturally rolled a 13. With its
I'm going to go ahead and assume it gets a +2.
With its -4, it gets a 9.
Oh, never mind then. It's going to take 2d6 fire damage.
Yeah, it sure is.
Admittedly, something that is
so that's
stuck in
7
one-
fire damage.
Okay.
7.
7 total?
7 total. I rolled a 4 on one die and a 3 on the other.
Proud of you.
So what else is fun is there anything else within 10 sorry. What's the damage radius on this thing?
Oh boy.
Okay, so anything that ends within 5 feet of the sphere also has to make that save, or else it'll take 2d6 fire damage.
Uh-oh.
It takes half on a successful. And I'm just going to leave it in the space right where the tentacle like meets the crack in space-time.
Yeah, Absolutely.
That's a good call.
And given how far that they have dragged him, does this happen right when the spell's cast too, or only when they start their
Yes.
turn? Okay. Well,
So a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in an unoccupied space of your choice and lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must take a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Okay.
As a bonus action, I can move the sphere up to 30 feet, and if I ram it into a creature, the creature must make a saving throw against the sphere's damage.
Sure.
Thus, the sphere stops moving.
Sure. But in terms of things within the heat radius,
They have to end their turn
in
there.
their turn. Fair enough.
Yeah. They either have to end their turn there, or I have to, as a bonus action, smack them with my fire sphere.
Correct.
So Zyden doesn't die yet, right?
And then I'm going to get up as close as I can to these rat swarms around Zyden.
Okay. You can. I mean, they dragged him. I mean, about 30 feet, so you can sort of get right up on the lip of.
Then that's what I will do.
Okay.
And I'm going to end my turn.
Okay. Fira.
Yeah. She's no idea what the fuck all just happened.
I grumbled drunkenly at a tentacle, and then fire appeared.
Which is
basically
a
it.
miracle because there were no hot toddies. So
There's definitely a reference I'm
Wow.
missing here.
Wow. Of all the callbacks I was expecting, that wasn't it. Holy shit.
Agreed.
I don't get that one. I don't.
hot toddy is the booze, and
And the tea.
the guy
From
the guy said that there was no booze. So
But
yes, good.
You most certainly just made a hot toddy.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, you did. Yeah. So
Yeah, my concept was that it would distract the tentacle if it was on fire.
That is sound logic, in fact.
Yeah,
I've got
the
a
few times
question.
in my life that I've been on fire have been very distracting.
I've got a out of character question, Dustin. How much do these muscular rats weigh?
I mean,
Make a knowledge nature check?
yeah, I would say.
Okay, I'm gonna do a nature check. That's gonna be a 8.
You...
They weigh about as much as a hen weigh.
God, I
damn it.
hope not. Jesus.
Those would be big
They weigh
rats.
less than a like a cat, like around the weight of a cat, less than a cat.
Less than a cat. You get the. They look to be like the size of a shoe. They could probably
Fantastic.
be about shoe weight.
Okay. So I am going to I'm gonna move up behind Mycah a little closer. And that is gonna have me within 30 feet of Zyden, correct?
Yeah.
I'm
It has
gonna
you
mage
within-
hand
it
one
has
of the
you
rats
within-
that are biting into him.
I mean, if you're standing next to Mycah, you
Right
are
behind, but yeah.
you're about 10 feet from Zyden, and realistically, that puts you within like 20 feet of the tentacle.
Fantastic. I'm gonna use mage hand on one of the rats that's biting into Zyden.
Okay.
And try and pry it off of him.
Okay, give me an intelligence check.
Boy. That doesn't work.
So how
That's
do we?
a 3.
No, you want that when rolling
Okay.
for at least the way that I've always played is when rolling for a what I like to refer to as a my character is smarter than me roll. You roll and you want to get underneath your intelligence score. That way, the smarter you are, the more likely you are to roll successfully, because goes against that number. At least that's how I've done them in the past. I'm not sure how Dustin's working them.
I mean, typically I just use it like a general DC, but I kind of like what you just said. So I
Yeah,
think,
that way it scales directly with your intelligence.
yeah, no, that's fair.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. You are aware that there are swarms of rats
Yeah.
biting into him, and Mage Hand at best can probably rip one of them away.
Okay.
Um, for the dozen or so rats that are biting and clawing him backwards, it might not be super effective to shed one said rat. It might help. I might adjust the modifier slightly if he was to contest the grapple on his next turn. But
To be fair, there's not much else that she can do right now.
Get
unless I'm terribly mistaken, I thought bards got all their spells back on a short rest.
Locks.
I did. My first level spells are Animal Friendship, Charm Person, Comprehend Languages, and Disguise Self.
so nothing for battle.
Nothing for battle.
No, that's fair. All right.
Alright.
Fair enough.
So she's doing what she can.
Hey. Cool.
Trying to at least. I mean,
Alright.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Give me a strength check using your spell casting modifier.
okay. 19.
Yeah. You proceed. You give a little flourish, as you know a musician is wont to do, and you watch as this deft conductor's glove just appears out of the air, grabs this rat, and flicks it away, and it
Fantastic.
just sails off into a different part of the cavern.
Okay.
Anything else?
Perfect. That is all I can do.
Okay. It is the Rift's turn. The Rift proceeds to snarl and grate and rumble, and you hear it say, "The light bearer has friends."
Mom's working on how I say things, and I might not have it.
Is your Alexa having some trouble with my Rift voice there?
I was gonna make a joke, but like the Alexa's just a better punchline.
Fuck.
Hey Alexa, fix space time.
It doesn't respond to that word.
I don't know which in my growling Rift voice I suddenly said the keyword that activates your Alexa, but now I don't fucking want to know. Jesus.
Think Star Trek.
Oh my
I'd
god.
say it, but it'd probably hear me. But yeah, think Star Trek.
Engage?
No.
Huh.
I will deal with its little sparkles later. But now, the light bearer, I must feed on the key seeker. And you watch
All
as
right, it's gonna feed on this key seeker.
the tentacle flicks forward, and it coils around Zyden's waist.
Fantastic.
Zyden, I need you to make another strength check.
Oh, this isn't an attack. It's just a. I gotta make a save. Okay. That's an 18.
A what?
18.
I impressively, even with all of its bonuses, it only managed a 17. So the
Ooh.
tentacle proceeds to wrap around you, and you feel it drag against your waist. But in that moment, you feel a pair of hands rest themselves on your shoulders. and you are planted where you are.
Huh.
Not today, fiend.
Also, you're still the only one that cannot understand.
Yeah.
But that being said, okay, it is going to end its turn. So Mycah, you owe me some damage.
Well, he makes another dex saving throw.
Oh, fantastic.
At the beginning of every turn, it makes a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, that would be a 3, and with -4, that would be a -1.
Yes!
Cool. He gonna take 6 more fire damage.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Is it my turn yet?
No, it is now the secondary rat cluster, which Mycah, or not Mycah, Zyden, you know this chorus song. Give me another roll.
All right. 15.
That is a 17, so you are actually dragged another 5 feet forward. You are
Great.
5 feet.
Do I get an attack of op? Do I get an attack of op? I am abutting these rats,
Technically.
and they are moving out of my threatened space.
Yeah, because you were technically 5 feet behind him. They are technically.
That's why I moved where I moved.
Yeah, you get to go for an attack of op on the rat cluster.
Good. Fuck these rats. I'm gonna go ahead and attack them with my spellfoot club attack. Definitely not just hitting him with a spell focus. That'd be crazy. Does a 15 hit?
A 15 just hits.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's going to be a D8 of bludgeoning damage and a D6 of poison damage.
Yeah?
Yep. So it is technically, if you really want the breakdown, it's 15 points of bludgeoning damage and 1 point of poison damage.
Aw.
I thought you had to. Don't you have to cast Shillelagh on it?
I cast Shillelagh on my first turn.
I thought you cast Wild Shape.
I cast both.
He was a
Shillelagh,
monster.
a
Okay.
wild shape I used as an action, and Shillelagh is a bonus action to cast.
Oh, Shillelagh's a fucking cantrip.
Shillelagh is a cantrip.
I keep forgetting that part. Yeah, you absolutely.
It is a cantrip that is a bonus action,
Now,
which I
does
used
it
on my
count
first turn.
as magical bludgeoning damage.
Yes, the weapon becomes magical, which means that if it has resistance against physical damage, it's still.
That is an important distinction to make right now.
If it has resistance to non-magical damage, that is to say.
It sure has resistance to non-magical bludgeoning.
Well, it takes 15 magical bludgeoning.
Sure does.
Because I made my stick with a rock on it a magical stick with a rock on it.
With a rock on it, yeah, you sure did.
And 1 point of poison.
Yep.
Just like a touch of poison. Like a garnish.
As you swing down, the magic carries forth, and you watch as this stick slams into this mass of rats, and in fact, bits of moss slam out around it as if they are making a sinewy fist smash down onto this cluster of rats. And you peel away to a smear of almost an entire swath of rats are just mangled beneath.
Gross.
That was the rat cluster's turn. Zyden,
Mm-hmm.
your go.
Didn't
I go.
Well.
Okay.
Also, Zyden, now that you are 5 feet, where the tentacle is reaching out of this rift, you can feel that the space around it is being sucked inside. And at the very edge of the iris is where that purple haze is coming from, but you notice that within the haze, it is as if that purple is bleeding downward and being sucked away in trails into complete darkness.
Huh. Well, that's disturbing. So I'm like within melee range of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You are so close. You can see little crystalline flecks
wait,
into the
hold
the
on.
flesh.
Wait, this is important. Does Zyden start his turn within 5 feet of my flaming ball?
Oh shit.
Uh,
Sphere. It's a sphere.
Yes, he does.
Zyden gets to make a dexterity saving throw.
Really?
He sure.
Flaming spear don't discriminate.
Yeah.
And I don't metagame.
I appreciate that. However, you do notice that after they drag him within range, the last couple of rats in that initial cluster that you smashed down on singe and sizzle, and like cooking bacon just curl up with shrieks of pain, and you suddenly notice that they're pretty dead.
Gross.
Well, actually, roll
delicious.
because it's 2d6.
Yeah.
Yes, they are dead.
I mean, to be fair, they have until the start of their next turn.
Well, no, because they entered. Oh,
It doesn't matter entering. It's when if you start your turn there, or if I hit you with it.
okay. Well,
Which
yes,
is why Zyden does have to make this save,
correct.
but the rats don't.
Fantastic.
What's your roll a dexterity saving throw for me, bud?
16.
No.
16 beats my spell save DC.
No, it doesn't.
What?
No.
What?
Because you are currently
You're in a grapple.
by a series of rats and a tentacle. You automatically fail dexterity checks.
Son of a bitch.
Well, then I'm gonna roll this 2d6.
Really? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, this fire fucked you up so bad.
I mean, that doesn't show up in the description of it here, but it may not be the full description. I'm not sure.
Where
I will also do some looking up stuff.
No,
No.
that's
You're
the.
just saying the grappled creature's speed becomes 0, can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. See the condition. The condition also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach, or that's just stuff how it ends. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about dex,
Stand
but
by.
that may not be the full description. I'm not sure.
To
I'm
be
looking it up too.
entirely fair, if we can't come to a conclusive decision on the rolling here, we can always just have him roll at a disadvantage.
I'm checking. I have the physical hard book in front of me, so.
There.
Oh, dex saves are a disadvantage.
Well,
Oh, nailed it.
okay, so you rolled the 1, so roll again.
Same roll.
Yeah.
It literally rolled the same number. I rolled a 14 twice,
Hey!
Which is-
Lucky bitch.
which is a 16.
Cool. Good. It's a really good thing that you rolled that number and not any numbers lower than that number.
So he still takes half, to my knowledge.
Yeah. No, he does, which is why he's only taking 5 fire damage.
Holy!
Ah. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on, all right.
Yeah, no, that fire spirit will go and fuck you up, bud.
So the real question is, are you unconscious yet?
No. Before this damage, I was at half my hit points. Yeah.
Now you are less.
Yeah. It's funny. I've had plans for the next time I got hit, but no one's attacked me.
Yeah.
I've just had to make saves.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to hit to grapple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Fucking-
once you are grappled, they sure do have a fucking drag your ass.
Yeah. Well, I'm a slash at this thing.
Sure.
The tentacle above me.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck it up, Kenneth.
That is a 21 to hit.
Whew.
That sure does hit.
All right. And that's 9 radiant damage.
Ooh.
Since it is my hex weapon and everything my pack seems to do is radiant. Either that or it's just magical, and I think it's going to have the same...
Your blasts are radiant. The sword is just magical damage.
Right. Okay, that was it. Yeah. So yeah. 9 magical slashing damage.
All right. Anything else?
It's already... Oh wait, no, hold on.
You do.
It's
you do hear
it's hexed.
You do hear a grinding, hissing shriek of pain. Oh yes, it does take 2 additional damage.
Yes. Yes.
All right,
so
you're
it's
getting there.
11.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have one of my daggers out right now, so I can't really do the 2-weapon fighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
The clusters, you feel the teeth that are dug into your legs, into your shins and thighs, release. And the swarms proceed to rush backwards. And one is going to swarm at Fira and the other at Mycah.
Okay.
Okay.
Which, hold on.
Wait, does that mean I'm no longer grappled?
The tentacle is still very much wrapped around your waist.
Oh, right. Okay, so wrapped around, it just didn't... It wasn't able to pull me.
Right.
Got it.
One cluster is going to bite itself onto, or try to bite itself onto Mycah. That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah. 21 gonna beat my 16.
That's 3 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then Fira.
Yeah.
You watch as the very hungry rats proceed to try and snap and bite at each other because they can't agree on who gets the first bite at you.
Do I still get an opportunity attack?
No, they were rushing at you, not away from you.
Dummies.
But that sure was a 1. They tried to roll a 1 bite.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the 2 rat clusters. Mycah.
Well, I'm gonna hit these rats
Go for it.
because I don't much care for them.
That's fair.
And 17.
Yeah, 17 definitely hits.
That's what I figured. That's going to be 9 damage total. Oh, sorry. 16 damage total.
What?
I roll, and then I forgot to add my bonus that I deal in my damage based on my spellcasting modifier.
In one clean, almost cricket sweep, you clear away the swath of rats at your feet.
Cool. And then for my bonus action, I look at the tentacle, and then I just sort of wave my arm vaguely in one direction, and then vaguely back. And the sphere moves 15 feet backwards and then slams 15 feet forwards again into the tentacle. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw on that tentacle. It's almost like I picked the one that I thought would have a bad dexterity.
Well,
that sure is a 5.
That's fine. He gonna take 8 fire damage.
You can bonus attack as a...
I can move the sphere as a bonus attack. I can move the sphere up to 30 feet, and when the sphere collides with another object, that it no longer gets to move, but that object has to make its dexterity saving throw.
It doesn't ram as an attack action?
No!
Gross.
Here, take a look at Flaming Sphere.
Wow.
It's right there. As a bonus action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet. If you ram the sphere into a creature, that creature must make the saving throw against that sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving this turn.
So gross. Okay.
So frankly, I just needed to move it back 5 feet and forward 5 feet. Just leave the square, re-enter the
But you
square.
gave
But I
us-
thought this
you
was
gave us a
more in
push.
character.
No, that's fine. All right.
So pretty much you can move it around, and if it hits a wall, it stops.
Yeah.
Enemies can also be a wall.
Yeah, it's basically a free 2d6 attack I get to make for the next 8 rounds.
Wow.
Because it lasts a minute with concentration.
All right. Fira,
Yeah.
go for it.
Well, I just remembered I have a quarterstaff, so I'm gonna pull out my quarterstaff.
Sure.
I'm gonna try and hit these guys that are just kind of hitting each other.
Go for it.
And does a 22 hit?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
If we're not a considerably higher level before you ask the question, does a 22 hit, and the answer is anything other than a yes, we need to leave.
Well, I never roll this high, okay? You gotta give me here. But that's gonna be a 3 bludgeoning.
Okay. You can roll an insight check.
17.
Yeah, as you heard me, properly explain to Mycah as a metagame, but you as Fira now understand the rats being a small swarm cluster
Yeah.
dance around the stick, and you really only manage to club a couple of them with the swat.
Huh.
It's not a highly effective thing.
Fair enough.
Anything else?
Nope, that's gonna do it.
All right, it's the Rift's turn. Coming as a surprise to no one, Zyden, make me a strength check. That was better.
14.
Yeah. With its 17, it proceeds to give another gurgling growl, and the tentacle tenses around your waist and rips you up off of the ground and slams you bodily against the rift.
Oh!
Well, actually, the first thing it's going to do is roll a 11 for its dex check. So I need you to give me...
Let me just go ahead and roll those. Oh, well, 2. Fucking snake eyes.
All right.
It is lightly toasted.
Yeah. Zyden, it proceeds to drag you and slams you into the rift.
Rift. Okay.
And it proceeds to do 11 points of force damage.
Right.
Ow.
As you feel your chest and midsection folding and tearing against the rift's force as it's trying to suck you inside.
I would have a response to this, but I'm unconscious.
Fantastic.
That's rough. Now, it's been a long time since I've played 5e.
Oh, that's interesting.
What happens when you take 2d6 fire damage at the start of your turn when you're unconscious?
You automatically take a death failure. You get a total of 3 death failures before you die.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, your curse fades.
Oh, right.
Because
Wait.
curse has to be a concentration, isn't it?
What?
I actually don't think that it is.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
sure.
it's just sort of an integral part of being a
or until the target dies, you die, or you are incapacitated.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. You are incapacitated. The curse fades.
Yeah, Hexblade's curse does not require focus.
I assume the +2 damage is only to damage you do.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, it specifically says you gain a +2 bonus.
Yeah, that's you then.
Okay.
Mhm.
The rift. You hear this tearing, screaming sound. Except, Fira, you recognize that despite it sounding like screaming in that language, you realize the rift might be laughing.
Oh no.
But that is the end of its turn. Now it's time for the rat cluster that was at his feet, which is going to.
Is that rat cluster within 5 feet
Oh,
of
sure
that
is.
flame sphere?
Yeah, it sure is.
Mm.
Well, that is a 19, so it is only going to take half damage. However, it is 2d6, so the last of them.
It's 5. It's 5 damage.
Yeah, it proceeds to turn into crispy, crispy bacon.
Flame sphere MVP.
Wait, what? What turned into bacon?
The last of the couple rats that were in the swarm that were still around your feet.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because they were the ones to drag you just a little bit closer.
Mm.
Alright.
Zyden, you first get burned, so you automatically take a failure.
Oof. All right, that's one failure.
And then you need to make a death saving throw.
Right. That's a 12. That's a success.
Sure is. All right.
Yeah, one of each.
That is the end of your turn. Rat Cluster 3.
Oh, I thought all the rats were dead.
No, Rat Cluster 3 is dead. That would be the ones that you swept away in one fell swoop. However, the other cluster is going to continue to swarm Fira. Or at least try to, after we made a disaster the last go around. That is a 10 to hit.
What am I checking?
Your AC.
I'm dumb. 14.
Okay. They squeak around you and bite, but they can't. So you kick them away with your boot.
Fantastic.
That is the end of their turn. Mycah.
Yeah. I'm gonna charge the tentacle and hit it with a stick.
Yeah, go for it.
Does a 17 hit?
17 does not hit.
Poop.
Wow.
Then I'm gonna smash it with the flame sphere before I dismiss the flame sphere.
Fair enough. I have to make a save then.
Yes.
I'm going to say you get to do double damage.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you want me to take the one roll and double the damage, or do you want me to take 2 separate rolls?
I prefer just doubling the first roll.
Cool. Then that's going to be 20 damage.
Nice.
Do you want to give it a flourish as you finish this thing?
After Furbolg, or Furbolg's not his name. After Mycah swings and whiffs with the with his spell focus, he sort of snarls, points up at the fireball, or the fireball, wheels his arm back and wheels it forward again, and hits the tentacle at the base where it merges into the rift, searing a hole through the entire base of it. It comes back and hits it again and again until the thing is just a pile of ash falling around our good
Around
friend
my
here.
unconscious body.
And then the fireball winks out of existence.
Huh.
As Zyden's body is released from the tentacle, it holds suspended in the air for the moment because he is still being pulled by the rift. But you hear a scream, and this time you know it to be a genuine scream, and you hear it say, "I will have the Light Keeper eventually. The key will never be his."
Huh.
And with that, the rift in space twists and bends in on itself and winks
And-
out of existence, and Zyden's body drops to the ground.
Huh. Well,
I'm out of spells. So
what do I got here? I got
medicine. Can I do a medicine check?
Uh,
Is that a thing?
well,
Don't.
it's.
You say don't want
do
to
you
do
have
have a
anything
healing
else you want to
potion.
do on your turn, Mycah?
Oh, I figured the combat was. Oh, right. She's still being attacked by a rat.
Yep.
You sure?
No, that's the end of my turn. I'm done. I'm out of
Okay.
action. It's over.
Fira,
I'm gonna smack the rat.
go for it. Smack the rat. Go smack the rat.
14? 14 to hit.
14 misses.
God damn it.
They were ready for you that second time around. They saw that quarterstaff coming and they scattered around it.
I guess so.
Anything else?
I'm gonna try and move closer to Mycah.
Okay, I mean, he's 5 feet in front of you. You can't really get much closer to him.
Yeah, well, maybe
Okay.
I just know he just wants a hug, so.
It was going to be the Night Rift's turn, but the Night Rift is gone. Rat Cluster 2, nothing. Zyden.
Guess I'll make another save.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh, that's a success. That's an 18.
Sure is.
Yes.
Rat Cluster 3 is dead. The cluster in front of Fira. That's a 7 to hit, so never mind. Mycah.
Nope.
I'm gonna medicine check is like a thing, right? That's a
Yeah.
useful thing for me to be doing right now. My knowledge of 5e is so fucking spotty. It's either on point or nothing.
So with the medicine check, what you can do is you roll a medicine check, and depending on what you roll, if you are successful, he gets to make another save with either advantage or disadvantage.
Okay. I was hoping I could stabilize, but I guess that's not a thing.
Well, if I make 3 successes, I'm stabilized.
Okay.
You can also.
Oh, yeah, medicine. A wisdom medicine check lets you try to stabilize a dying companion or diagnose an illness. You can use your action to administer first aid to an unconscious creature and attempt to stabilize it, which requires a DC 10 plus wisdom medicine check.
I believe you have to have a medicine kit to do that, though, don't you?
I think the medicine kit gives you advantage.
Oh, is that? Oh, that. Okay, that makes more sense then. All right, cool.
I'm not entirely sure on that, but I know you can do it without it.
No, that's,
and it's a static
actually,
10 check.
That sounds right. Yes, I thought.
Yeah,
that,
and
I
it's a
thought that was
static.
just how the kit worked, but if the kit gives you advantage, that makes sense. All right, so then go for a medicine.
It is a static DC 10 check.
Yep.
Which is good because that means I only have to roll a 5.
Haha.
Well,
I have a 20 wisdom. It's a plus 5 to the medicine check.
that's fair.
Gross.
Nice.
That's my spellcasting. Oh yeah, and I rolled an 18.
Bam.
So that's a 23 total.
Yeah, I mean, you rub your hands together and give him a little mossy clear.
So it's not so much that because it's stabilized. I'm not waking him up. I'm just making sure he's not bleeding out.
Sure.
So in my mind,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this guy who's bleeding everywhere. So I just pluck off a couple of bits of mushroom and mush it together and then just sort of rub it into the various wounds and scrapes and shit that I find.
You apply a salve to his wounds.
Salve! Yeah, I apply a salve made out of mushrooms that I just sort of pluck off of myself.
Gross, but amazing.
It glows a little.
All right.
That's terrifying.
So I'm stabilized at 1 HP, right?
You are stabilized at 0 HP.
Ah, is that how? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. One HP. You are conscious. All right.
All right.
Mycah, anything else from you?
Well, now that he's not dying, I'm gonna move to. Is it possible for me to get into like a flanking position with
Yeah.
this rat swarm? Then I'm gonna move to flank the rat
actually, no,
swarm.
technically swarms you cannot flank, but
Can't flank swarms. Then I'm just gonna walk up next to my friend.
okay,
Provide moral support.
fantastic. Fira, you are now morally supported. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna swat at them with my stick again.
Fantastic, go for it.
It's gonna be a 19 to hit.
That sure does hit.
All right, and that's gonna be much more than last time. That's gonna be 6 bludgeoning,
Okay.
like Wah! And then just hits him.
Yeah, a few of them scatter back and don't move as they drift back into the divot.
Fantastic.
Jumping back around, Zyden, you're stable. So Mycah. No, I'm sorry. The rat cluster goes first. That is a 12, but that's not gonna do it either. I am rolling terribly with these rats. Mycah, now you can go.
Cool. I'm gonna hit him
Yeah.
with my shillelagh. No, I'm not. I'm gonna get a crit fail. Who
Okay.
gets hit
Ow.
by my magical stick?
All right, Fira.
All right, here we go with that smacking stick again.
Wait. I just
Ooh.
missed. Nothing fancy happens with my miss. You're being so much more merciful than I was expecting.
Ooh.
I tried an entire crit fail table and I absolutely mangled an entire party once, and so I sort of hedge away from it. If you're working at, if you're working at range or you're doing something particularly ridiculous, don't worry. There'll be repercussions, but you know your stick.
All right, I will be right back.
So speaking of stick, I rolled a crit success
Hey, there
with
you
my
go.
stick.
Uh-huh.
So then I roll. The damage is 1d8 plus 1 then, so it's a 6.
6 total?
Yep. I rolled a 5.
Okay, so that's actually 11 total.
Awesome.
So when
So-
you roll a crit, you double the dice damage
Gotcha.
and then add the modifiers.
It's been a while. I don't do this often, remember?
Yes, indeed. So when you do it, you roll your dice damage and you double the value on the dice, and then you add modifiers after the fact.
All
So
right.
if you roll
So
a
11
5,
bludgeoning damage.
yeah,
Bye bye, little mighty things.
they're still chugging along. They're gonna try and take another bite at you. But they can't fucking. Between you and Mycah, you proceed to
Beat the shit out of them?
mow them into nothingness.
Awesome.
All right. Well, this was gross and unpleasant.
Yep.
You can understand what that thing said?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it was calling Mycah the Lightbringer.
Do you mean Zyden?
Yep.
Yep.
That's
You
exactly.
just hear a groan from over in Zyden's direction.
He's fine. He'll wake up in a few hours. No, he's fine. He'll wake up in a few hours with a headache and some bruising, but he'll live. Let's find this fucking barrel and leave.
That sounds like a plan.
Out of character, obviously, since I can't talk right now.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't someone have like a healing potion or something?
I don't think I do. Let me check my inventory.
I...
In fact, I'm
maybe
almost
I'm
certain I don't.
Maybe I'm not remembering correctly.
No, you.
I have.
I thought
Not.
Fira might have gotten one.
I do not.
Inventory.
Fira has 3 of them, in fact.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I have a knife.
I do. The dark.
That's kind of
blue
like the
liquid that
opposite of a
I use
healing
some extra
potion.
Time. Yes, I have 3 of those.
All right.
I should read my notes.
I'm going to be real with you. We could heal him. We could just take him back to the boat.
I mean, do you see a barrel in here? Because we might actually need help.
That's a really good question. And I'm going to look for a barrel of starwood.
So you have to shuffle around a bit because the light has faded from your staff. I realize it. Well, actually, I guess not.
It may have dimmed if he had his own light in addition.
He has his own light. Yours technically still holds on because it's not concentration. So
Yes, the light cantrip will remains in effect for 1 hour.
So yeah, you proceed to walk around with the light on the end of your stick, your stone on a stick, and in that back right-hand corner, in a large gap at the back, you see piles of discarded bone and broken bits of wood and cracked open crates, and you see several broken and discarded husks of barrels. You get a feeling that this is a giant refuse pile of things that were at one time or another fed to the rift.
Can I differentiate between what would be trash wood and what would be starwood?
Given the description that the captain gave you before you left, as you hold your light over it, the starlight wood is pretty apparent. In amongst them, you do find a cracked in half, lying in 2 large pieces, 2 halves of a keg, in which the wood is spidered with this deep blue vein of sort of crystalline structuring down through the body of the wood. And it almost glimmers, almost as if starlight, as you shine light on it.
All right, I think I found the fancy boat wood.
All right.
I'll
now
take
the
the boat
question is,
wood.
can you carry both at the same time?
You can carry Zyden. I'll carry the wood. I guarantee you've got more muscle than I do.
What?
Because I know you do. You have a 12 strength and I have a 9.
That's wow. All right then.
I am a chonky boy. I am not necessarily a beefy boy.
I am not a beefy boy. I just rolled a strength check, and you don't want to know how hard I dropped you on that floor.
I'm assuming you couldn't pick me up.
No, but I mean, she could drag you. What's your
I can drag you.
What's your carry weight? What's your carry limit?
Um,
Hold on, I'll figure it out.
No, functionally, over time, you can drag both of said objects. Well,
Okay.
Your carrying capacity is your
both of said
strength.
objects, I mean an object and your companion. You can drag both
so both objects.
with time.
Just so you know, your strength, your carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15. So you can carry 180 pounds before you are encumbered.
Nice.
Now, bearing in mind that also includes like the travel pack, all of her armor.
Right.
And my
But my
stuff
point
that I
is,
carry in general is 106 pounds. So
my point being, you can drag the warlock.
Yes,
I can drag him. Yeah.
sure can.
Yeah, I actually have my weight listed as 180 pounds.
Yeah, so y'all
So
can
if
drag
I
the
dropped all
warlock.
my shit, I could carry you.
Yeah, but you could alternatively just drag him.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna drag him.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Heck,
get,
you
you
both
get like
have
both
tip
arms
strength,
in
huh?
under his shoulders, and you just,
I was gonna
kinda-
say, now here's the question:
Uh-huh.
does the dragging wake me up?
No.
No. In fact,
Healing wakes you up, my friend.
That's a valid question, though.
no, it does not. In fact, okay, you're out for a little while.
All right.
Um,
All right. Space Jeeves, or whatever the hell your name was. We found the wood. We're gonna leave. There was a tentacle in your basement. We killed it. I just sort of shout into the house.
well, he's actually in the kitchen, and he appears to be cleaning away some of the rotted food that you had found when you initially came in there. And he actually looks to have something roasting in a pot in the cooking fireplace.
Huh.
Oh, well, thank you. I was preparing a spot of tea if you would care for some Levinses before your departure, but
You know, I think I just want to get on the ship and,
I mean no offense when I say this, but how long have you been here?
some 30 years very near.
Okay. And are you capable of using magic?
The master did show me.
More importantly, can you create food magically? Because if not, that's 30-year-old tea that's rotted as hell.
Oh, the larder uh was salted and preserved by the master's magic.
Mm,
It
no, I'm
is
good. I'm
perfectly.
good. I don't want any salted tea.
No. I apologize. It is a fish stew.
oh,
Sorry, tea being the meal I was preparing.
Oh, yeah, okay. You have to understand. I don't. Society.
Very well. Is your friend okay?
Oh, well, for a given value of okay,
he's not dead. I don't think. Is he dead?
he is not dead and he's not dying. You're welcome.
It is perhaps more than some of us can claim.
Yeah.
Well, if you wish to be on your way, I will not hold you.
I mean, I'll stop for some fish stew. I mean, having been assured that it's been preserved by magic and not like space Ludvisk, I'll have some fish stew.
Oh,
Very well. Perhaps I could serve you in the study.
We don't have a ton of time. We've got like 20 minutes. Yeah, we're good. Let's do it. Don't
that's
turn
what
your
we
nose
gotta
up to a
do.
free meal. It probably won't poison you.
Probably being the key word.
You know,
Okay. If you proceed to the study,
where we, I assume, just sort of weekended Bernie Zyden into the couch and prop him up, put on some sunglasses.
Oh, my Lanta.
when you proceed to look around for sunglasses and explain the comedy bit that you are going for, as he finishes setting the bowls of stew down, Bashir does go over to the desk and pull open a drawer and does produce a pair of stylish, sort of gold filigree, black frame sunglasses, and
Of course he
walks
does.
them back and puts them on Zyden's face.
Of course he does.
It's good. It's good.
He doesn't straight up laugh because you very much understand that that's not his demeanor, but Bashir, very subtly, you see the side of his mouth crack into a bit of a smile.
Of course he does.
Yep. Good.
So, can I propose a suggestion? Short rest while we're eating this free meal?
I don't know if we've got like another hour before the ship starts taking on more space. I imagine we can probably take a long rest once we get it back on the boat. And I don't think
Okay.
we're going to fight anything else between now and the boat. So running down that clock, I don't think is necessarily our best maneuver.
Fair, I forgot we're on a clock. Just mathing how many more battles we can get into before.
Look, man, I still got 45 health right now. I can just run through battles and get to the boat.
Jesus.
Yeah, I gained 15 bonus HP at the beginning of the fight, and I only took 3 damage.
Hey man,
Rub it in, why don't you?
someone blasted a tentacle with radiant damage, and the tentacle decided that there was a focus for that fight.
Hey, man, I ain't complaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stew is served. It's a little tough. Even magical preservation after 30 years has its limitations, but it's not terrible. It clearly is spiced appropriately, and you get the sense that Bashir knows how to cook.
It's good stew. That's good stew. I consume the stew.
Thank you, Master Mycah. I do appreciate it. When you finish, he clears the bowls away, and as you are eating, he sticks his nose over the empty cask and just kind of prods it with one polite finger and nods approvingly. You
Nice.
clearly found what he had acknowledged to be what he had dumped over the side.
All right. If nothing else is going on, nothing else hits us spooky. I appreciate the tip for the wood. Thank you for the soup. I'm going to leave your spooky haunted island mansion now.
Sounds like a plan.
I understand.
Bye.
Am I still knocked out?
Yeah, it's only been 20 minutes.
Okay.
We're fast, but we're not that fast.
Yeah. I'm just expecting to wake up with these sunglasses on.
Nope. Oh, well, ultimately you probably will, unless they take them off of you.
Please don't. I want them.
He walks you to the front door. He opens it. He actually takes the umbrella stand that had been propped in it and sets it back in the corner. And he gives you a small sort of half bow as you exit out onto the lawn.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep moving.
I'm just dragging him by the ankles.
All right. You you reach the edge of the island, and the ladder dangles some 20 feet in the air.
Son of a bitch.
Didn't we have like a thing for this to talk to be like, hey, we're here?
Yeah, I pull out the compass and open that up.
You just open it.
Hey, and attack. I kind of like fiddle with it a little to get it to start working. Hello, can you hear me?
For a brief second, there's not much, and then. Hi! You're not dead! That's amazing!
Well,
Please tell
one of
me you
us will be
fucking
if you
found
don't
the
lower the
object!
ladder.
Sorry?
One of us will be if you don't lower this ladder a little bit more.
Oh! Did
Yeah.
you find the wood?
Yeah. We I don't know how much. I don't know how much you need, but this is what there was. Zyden's unconscious as hell over here. Can we get up on the boat, please?
Oh! Yeah. Uh, the line goes quiet, but from high above, you definitely hear a distant set of whistles and shouts, and gradually the ladder does drift down so that it's within a 5-foot, pretty easy hop to jump up and grab.
Nice.
Cool. I'm gonna climb on up.
And how are you managing the keg?
I'm gonna climb up, and then I'm gonna look over the side, and then I'm gonna grab the keg with my vine whip.
How far does Vine Whip go?
Thorn whip goes. How far is the distance here
It's almost
that I need to
100-foot ladder.
traverse? Oh, then I'm gonna thorn whip the thing and then just climb up, hauling it up with me.
Okay, I'm still gonna say that you gotta give me an athletics check if you're gonna climb one-handed. It is a runged ladder. The DC is not challenging, but you still.
Sure, no problem. That you said acrobatics.
Athletics.
Not the one that I don't get a -1 on. Oh boy. Well, fuck. That's a 19.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little
Oh,
sort of a
fuck.
awkward pacing. You kind of have to, one hand up, 2 feet to close the distance, another hand up, 2 feet up, and the whole time you have your other arm sort of dangled out behind you, thorn whipping the thing up the side. But you managed to scale your way back up onto the ship.
And I'm just standing there staring up at the ship, and I look down at the compass. Is there any way you could drop me down some rope?
Wait, are you not taking the rope ladder after him?
Yeah, but how's she gonna
How are we
carry
getting
your
you?
ass up the rope ladder?
Oh, I mean, I do have that grappling hook that Bashir
Oh,
gave us.
yeah. So, yeah, just gonna get a little handsy and find that grappling hook, and
I mean, we could probably find a way to get you some rope.
I think I got some. Hold on, let's see if this is gonna work.
Okay.
So now my real question is, what kind of a check would you like for me to tie the rope to Zyden and to the bottom of? Well, is this ladder? It's like a rope runged ladder, right?
It's actually like wood bars across and
If-
a rope up the side.
If this was 3.5, I'd be able to tell you exactly what check you need to do that.
Well, in this case,
I was gonna say I'm
It
trying
was-
to figure out how.
You mean a handle rope check?
A use rope check? Yeah, it would have been the use rope skill.
Yeah. In this case, it's a sleight of hand check.
I'm trying to figure out. It would be a sleight of hand check
Yeah.
to get
Yeah,
him
use
up
rope.
to tie the rope to him and then pull him up the ladder behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the fun thing about how rope checks work. No matter what you roll, not looks fine to you.
Yeah. It's my favorite check in the whole damn game because no matter what you do, it's gonna be great.
All right, here we go. I have a sleight of hand check. And it's a 17 after Plus,
Okay. I mean, you cinch it off, and you've actually like tied it in a sort of complicated wrap around the hook, which you are using to hug the thing pretty tight to him. And you've got it pretty secure over your own shoulders. So now I just need an athletics check from you.
that's gonna be a 16.
Yeah, I mean, dragging a full body is not the easiest thing in the world up the side of a ladder, but after some slow progress, and especially when the XO comes and leans over and sees you hauling an unmoving guy like a medevac helicopter up the side of this ladder.
The real question is, does he wake up from his head hitting every?
No, he does not.
Poor guy.
But she does give a whistle and a hand motion, and as you're climbing, the ladder does start to pull up in your grasp and more quickly propels you to the top of the boat.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Meanwhile, while she's standing there and you two are still getting hauled up the side, she looks at what you sling over the side there, Mycah, and she looks at it and goes, "Oh, you found the stuff. Look at that. Oh, and you found plenty of it. Oh, we're in good
Okay.
working shape here. Oi, Zeke, fellas, get this below deck. We got work to do."
Just a lot.
And several of the deckhands, including the rabbit folk and that particularly burly tiefling that you originally accosted, come by and scoop up the chunks of Starlight wood keg, and they rush it below deck.
Cool.
As you come up over the side, Fira, she kind of looks over at Zyden. He's still breathing.
Yep.
Oh,
You're
well,
welcome.
fantastic. Well, if you want, you know, just down the way there, Captain had us clear a couple of the guys out. Away team gets their own cabin, so it's all yours if you want to follow me.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
That's good. That's good. Because I'd like to take a nap.
So she's actually going to continue dragging him by the rope because she's just done at this point.
Oh yeah, no, he's got like rock bruises and gouges in his legs, like rat bites. He's now getting like
It's better to ask
splinters.
forgiveness than to ask permission.
Admittedly, I am wearing like light leather armor, so the dragging won't do too much.
Yeah, it's not gonna kill you, but you certainly are gonna have some like roughed up bits when you wake up.
Yeah.
She
Maybe a
shows
tear
you.
in my cloak I have to fix.
She does show you down the first flight of stairs, and you pass through sort of a general deckhands cross section, like rows and rows of hammocks and a couple of side wall mounts where you suspect that some of the better serving members of the crew get dibs on full and proper beds.
Yeah.
And she shows you to a door towards the bow of the ship.
Yep.
And when she opens it, there's actually a small room set into the front of the ship that has 4 beds set into just about where the bowing comes to a bit of a head.
Okay.
And meets that there is a small table that meets at that point and comes out from the wall and has a couple of mounted stools built into it, much like the galley upstairs.
Okay.
and there are 4 beds set into the curve of the wall, 2 to a
Okay.
side.
Okay.
And just inside the door, there are 3 inset trunks.
Okay. So she's gonna kind of just drop the rope in the middle of the room with him, and just let out a long.
Mycah's gonna walk over to the nearest bed thing
Flop down.
and just collapse face first on it and just pass the fuck out.
Yep.
Okay.
So, all right. So you guys
Left you on the floor, yes.
made
Yeah.
it to beds, collapsed into them yourselves, and left the guy who was knocked unconscious
Yeah.
on the floor.
Oh,
At
yes.
least you're in
Yeah.
a safe place.
You'll be fine. You're not bleeding out anymore. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
And tell me
we
at
should
least
probably check
one
and make sure
thing.
that he didn't get any bleeding cuts from being dragged up the ladder by.
And let me just know one thing.
Uh-huh.
No.
Do I still have the sunglasses on?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's perfect.
Callie gives you a quick look over as like the 2 of you are just flopped into the beds, and Mycah, wrapped almost mummy style in his rope bindings, lying in the middle of the floor, and she just kind of gives a shrug.
Right.
And well, if you want, 3 whistles means food's on, so whenever you're around, probably take us the better part of the day to get the wood grafted into the holes, so rest well, away team. Rest well.
Excellent.
She proceeds to toss a ring with 3 keys on it onto the table in the center of the room, and she shuts the door behind her.
Okay. And there, pass the fuck out.
Zyden, about an hour and a half later, you kind of groan awake and uncomfortably find that you were sitting bound in the center of the room.
Fucking boy, what the? Why is it dark? What? Feels his face. Oh, takes a look at the sunglasses. Nice. Puts them back on. Gets the rope off me. Looks around.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Am I actually tied up? Oh, jeez.
She
Yeah.
had to climb up a rope ladder with you and not drop you.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean my arms would be bound.
It
No, but it's your
sure
legs.
does.
Your legs are pretty bound.
Okay, that's fair.
Your
That's
legs
fair.
and body. She gave you like, I don't know if you've ever been tied into like a lifeguard's rescue stretcher, but she essentially
No.
rope netted you in a similar fashion. You
Oh,
barely.
I did just roll a 19 for sleight of hand.
Oh yeah, you eventually figure out where she has it like knotted against the hooks of the grappling hook, and you manage to sort of pop them off, and once that tension is loose, the rest of the rope more or less falls away without huge issue.
All right.
So we're on a long rest here?
You get to conduct a long rest. Zyden.
Mhm.
As you come to, and you take the glasses off and go, huh, and you put them back on and you finish pulling the rope from your person.
Mhm.
You look up, and there is a figure sitting at the table in the center of the room.
Is it who I think it is?
Well, at first you think it is. You think Alistar is there to talk to you. Except as you look, the robes are different. They're not the brilliant and swirling gold and yellow that you've come to expect from Alistair.
Mhm.
These robes are dark. They are black. And as you look, the hand rested on the table seems to writhe and twist.
I'm gonna pause what I'm doing. I'm assuming I'm already untied by now. Take the sunglasses and just peer over the top of them to see if this is something brought on by the glasses themselves.
As you look over the top of the glasses, they are not. He is still there.
Okay. So I pull the sunglasses up onto the top of my head. Hello?
Hello, Lightbearer.
Oh dear. And you might be?
Well, I have been called so many things. I believe your patron would call me the darkness that waits.
Okay, I don't think I actually caught all of that.
Sorry.
It kind of broke up a bit.
Your patron would call me the darkness that waits.
I see. I jump up, the sword is out and at its throat, or where its throat should be.
You jump up and attempt to call the sword, and nothing happens.
Oh. Shit.
Now,
I kind of make the motion, nothing happens. I just look at my hand and actually say aloud, well, shit.
there's no call for that, Lightbearer.
You're sure? Because you merely by knowing who my patron is, you may see that I have cause to worry at your very existence in this room. Why are you here?
Well, I've simply come to ask a question.
Then ask.
How much do you know of your patron?
Not as much as I would like.
Not as much as any who have borne his accursed lie would like.
However, he has not yet given me any reason to distrust him. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Oh?
So, though I do take most things with a grain of salt, or 2, or 5, that includes from anyone else.
Caution is always a good choice.
Indeed.
But if you're being cautious, you must wonder one thing. Who was it exactly that was there when the last Lightbearer died?
Ah, I was.
Yes, but who else?
Who other than my patron?
Who else indeed?
He could not handle the burden, he passed it on to me,
Well,
someone much younger and able to handle it.
that's certainly how your patron would describe it.
How my friend described it before he passed.
Are you so sure?
I could tell it was him.
Well, I hope that faith keeps you warm. I have touched you, light bearer, and now you are known to me, and I to you. He actually holds up his hand, and you actually notice that on the writhing, tentacly fingers, one of them is shorn off and looks as if it has been burned away.
As if it has been burned.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
We will speak again, light bearer. But think on this while I am away.
You'd be surprised how much I think about this. Be gone. For now.
Dismiss me if you will, but do remember, Matt had more than one friend. And with that, he shimmers, and the room almost seems to become a little more light as he vanishes. We're going to call it the long rest.
Yeah. The only thing I would do after that is try and summon some of my Eldritch Light energy into my hand to make sure that I can. Since I couldn't while he was there.
Yeah. It trickles and flickers and struggles for a moment, but after a bit, it flickers and swirls into your hand. We will say that you all accomplish a long rest, and we will start
Sweet.
when you awaken. And when you awaken, you will be level 4,